Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to center on your goals. We all have them. Think about it. I mean, your goal could be to have a good lunch today. We're going to go bigger than that. And your life goals, your relationship goals, and she can help you out with that. She's an amazing, I guess we can call you a mindset coach. Would that fit?
Yeah, that would fit. Transformation coach would, yeah, it's all in the same ball game. So absolutely.
Yeah, she's Sheri Atcheson. Great to have you back with us, Sheri. How you doing today?
I'm good, Steve, and it looks like you're all sharp and ready to go today.
Yeah, I mean, I have goals. They're floating out there. They're in my mind. The one thing I don't do, and this holds true of everything, is write stuff down. I know I should be doing it, but I just never do it. And I have to change my mindset because I know it would be so powerful if I started writing things down just to have more clarity.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing. It's like when people have something happen in their lives or they're just sick and tired and they really want to do something. A lot of people put forth the effort. It's like, okay, I'm going to start doing this or I'm going to start doing that. But what they do, sorry about that, live. There you go. But anyway, what they do is they kind of get like all fumbled in their thought process. They don't have a game plan. If you don't write it down and have steps, you get lost, and then pretty soon you're just like exasperated with the whole thing. It's like, okay, this is too much work, you know. So it is important to write down steps because it's fun to check it off.
Well, yeah, then there's that, of course, and it doesn't have to be details. It could be just bullet points of things. That's the way I see it. But I have to take that. I have to write it down to write it down. Maybe that's what I need to do. I'm not really sure.
I think so. Well, hey, so are you willing to be my client for just a minute?
Of course.
Okay, so I would like for you, Steve Harper, to tell me what one specific goal would be that you would like to accomplish.
One specific goal. Let me think. By the way, we didn't plan this out. I have no idea. So and I have lots of them. So I want to pick one that can be strong. Well, I have a business, and I'm obviously looking to grow that. Always am. Time management. That has always been some of my bigger challenges. So maybe that's, getting better at that. That would be a goal.
Okay. All right. So time management, that's perfect. Okay. Why is time management important to you?
Because I don't have enough time, essentially. And I know that I should dig in deeper, start earlier, work later, but you also want to have a life at the same time too.
Yeah. But when you talk about time management and why it's important to you, if you were to have your time managed like in the most ultimate way possible, what would this bring to you?
Better business growth and feeling of accomplishment, because I always feel like there's things floating out there. Oh, I got to get to that. And so, let's be honest, when you own a business or even in life in general, there are some things that I don't really want to do them today, but you gotta. So you always, you put it here, you put it there, you don't dig into it. And then it's all floating out there, and it's more clutter in your brain is really what it comes down to, because you got to get it done.
Yeah, exactly. So Steve, what has kept you from doing this in the past?
You really want to know?
Yeah, I really want to know.
All right, we're going there. So I am a Virgo, and by trait, very organized and very usually detail oriented, worry about stuff. I let a lot of it go. I just let it go. I don't worry about things as much. But on the back end, now I'm catching up. So I think I let a little too much go. So I gotta kind of reel it back in. And that doesn't mean that things suffer, relationships or anything like that. It's just a better mindset, because I was a little too much in thinking and worrying about those things. Where now I think I need to kind of get a little bit back more where I can manage it, within my wheelhouse.
Yeah, exactly. So what needs to change now in order for you to get that balance back?
You are making me think, and I don't like it.
I know, don't I know, but you're gonna love me for it. I'm just
I
saying,
know
I'm
that's
making you do the work.
yes. You're making me do the work about the work, and you are like the mirror in front of me. Um, honestly, is starting earlier, digging in earlier to get stuff out of the way. And some of the most successful people do start their day at 5 o'clock. I have I have a radio career. I've worked in radio for since I was 17. Many years, decades. I got up at 3:54 a.m. So in the last couple of years, I kind of treat myself. Well, I sleep a little bit later. Oh, 7 o'clock. But I'm realizing that I really need to start my day at that time, like work wise, and just really start getting into it. And then a lot of those things floating out there that I think about that I haven't gotten to, I'll get to.
Okay, so that's good. You're thinking about what you need to do. So what are 2 steps that you must take in order to make this goal of yours move forward? 2 specific steps. And you did talk about getting up a little bit earlier, but I actually want you to dive a little deeper and think about 2 specific steps.
So that's not one of the steps.
Well, that is a step, but I want you to go a little deeper. I want you to commit to something.
I already got that in planning.
Okay.
Because I let, well, like I said, kind of let some things go that needed to go. They absolutely needed to go, but I need to plan more. I need to plan a day in advance. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And if I can't get to everything, that's okay. But at least I have the framework.
Okay, so how are you going to plan mentally? Are you going to write something down? What comes to mind? How are you going to stick to your plan? How are you going to remember your plan?
I'm going to put it on my
Oh,
phone, schedule it out. Because a lot of times for example, I have a meeting today at 4:30. Just somebody reached out to me who needed some help with, I do marketing, some help with marketing. I didn't write it down. And this is like from Thursday or Friday of last week. It's up in here. But I probably should have put it on a calendar just so it's part of the day. But I just know, but guess what? On the back end, it's more stuff in your brain that you need to to work with.
exactly. So my next question to you is, will you do this? Will you take these steps?
If you say I have to, I will. Yeah,
I do hold you accountable. So yeah, you've got to do the work because you want it. You want better time management, right?
absolutely. And it's also focus. Maybe we can digress for a moment.
Yeah.
What are your suggestions for focus? Our days are so busy. There's so much going on. How do you stay focused on getting things done?
Well, that requires a lot of it is sitting down first thing in the morning or even the night before and really making a decision on what tasks that you want to accomplish. And not only what tasks you want to accomplish, but put a reasonable time frame on this so that you're not prolonging it. And what I do for success, honest to God, I do the things I hate the most first thing in the morning. I get them off my plate because they're the ones I want to, procrastinate and put off. But if I tackle them just right at the beginning, right at the get-go, they're done. I feel accomplished. I feel better. And then I can just handle all that small stuff for the rest of the day. So that is highly, highly effective. That's like the best thing to do.
So you're
So
going into detail, excuse me, detail with me. So
I
Sheri, I'm
am.
going to go detail with you. Give me 3 things that you did today or the other day, Friday, whatever, they're last on your list, but you make them first on your list to get them out of the way.
Yeah. So, I get up really early in the morning. And the first thing that I accomplished today that was a lot of work was I sat down and I finished the presentation that I'm doing for I'm doing a webinar for college and university kids at the beginning of September going back to school. So the very first thing I did was update my Facebook banners, and created those this morning and got all that done and created the event in Eventbrite and just a bunch of different tasks that had to go hand in hand with that. And then the next thing I did, which I'm just finishing up, is I finished up this big presentation that I'm doing for blended families. So these tasks are very time consuming and easy to put off. But I went this morning and I made up my mind. I'm getting the finishing touches done so that I can fine tune them when I have to, but I'm getting the bulk, the guts all taken care of like first thing in the morning, which I did prior to talking to you. So I already feel much better about that.
I have to imagine too, when you take care of those tasks first thing in the morning, it's a very quiet time. So you're probably even more productive at it,
Yeah.
at the things you really don't want to do, than you would be later in the day.
Yeah, it really, really is. But I think one key thing is that even if you are not a list maker and you really do just spend some time, like even the evening before, or like when you get up in the morning and you think, okay, mentally, this is what I have on my plate today. And you actually have your conscious mind think about the things that you have to tackle today. And then make that determination that you're going to just get them accomplished, and not let other things constantly take priority over your own things that you need to take priority over, because it's like, right, you want better time management.
Sure.
Well, you need to give more value into your wants and needs versus what everybody else, everyone else wants a piece of you, but you need to take value in what you need a piece of, which is you, put importance into your own goals, before always dishing them out to everyone else. Does that make sense?
Sure, sure. Yeah, you have to be the priority. And then, we talked about that before with boundaries. In terms of scheduling, we just got an instant feedback. You can reach us, by the way, instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com. I also want to make sure that we mention your website, Sheri, which is paramountmindset.com, paramountmindset.com. And Tina checks in from Charlotte, North Carolina. She says, I heard you talking about scheduling your day. Do you have any suggestions on apps to help out with that?
Oh, that's a good idea. Actually, I don't. I unfortunately, because I just my app is my pen and paper. And that's what I do. But the thing of it is though, well, I'm going to take that back. I definitely use pen and paper because there's something about writing pen and paper.
Yep.
And then I do put any schedule issues that I have into my Google Calendar and set a reminder. And that's the only tools I use to stay on track. I'm constantly checking that Google Calendar. And that keeps me focused. And that even means if you have to schedule personal time, you put it on that calendar so that you don't schedule anything over the top of that. But honest to God, I think there's amazing apps out there, but I personally use pen and paper.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do.
Well, it's been scientifically proven that writing it down makes it stick up here and you're more aware of it and you're thinking more about it. The only challenge with that is if, let's say, you're at one location, you come up with something, it's not like, unless you're carrying a notebook or something with you 24/7. Google Calendar is great. You can change the colors for the different categories. So you can make, let's say purple, your personal calendar, and let's say green, your work calendar. I also use something called any.do, any.do, which is a pretty simple app. It can give you notifications. I've used it literally for years. It is free. And
I'm writing it down.
It's been really good. It's been the only thing is what we're talking about here. I got to get back to using it.
Yeah.
And
But
it gives you
that's cool. I
notifications too.
learned something.
Yeah. And I love it that it has a dashboard that you can use on your PC. So let's say you're sitting at your desk, you can see it, and just like Google Calendar, you can use your phone. It's more of not as much a calendar, but more of a to-do list, but digital graphical to-do list where you can create different categories. It's pretty intuitive. You just start playing around with it and you'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. However, I have to say, as far as going back to my pen and paper thing, not only is it a good feeling and it really integrates it into your brain when you write things down on paper, But it is a really, really amazing feeling when you get to scratch that off that
Oh
you
yeah.
accomplished it. And there's nothing like that feeling in the whole world. So I know it's old school, but I
No,
love that.
no. And I'll just say any do has the same thing. When you finish it, you see a line.
Oh, I love that.
Uh, and to your point though, about writing things down, about 2 months ago ish, I got a whiteboard because I
Oh, yeah.
needed, well, actually, let me rewind with that. I got like 5 months ago, never put it up. And a friend of mine came by my office and actually wrote on the whiteboard, don't forget to put this up. So I eventually did it, but again, it's the visuals. We're all visual. So when you walk in, in your office, home office or whatever, it's staring you in the face. Post-it notes, of course, are great too, but they're going to be all over the place. And
Yeah.
sometimes if you have too many, they kind of cancel each other out because you got so much information going around.
Yeah, exactly. But I love the fact that you have set a reminder to put up your whiteboard, but whiteboards are great too. But I like something that's just like staring me right in the face, honest to God,
Mhm.
because there's so many computer applications that I'm on all day long, and you
Yep.
just get inundated with looking at a screen and this and that. And I love the pen and paper thing.
Yeah.
I've got like umpteen notebooks. It's ridiculous. So
Everybody's different, and sometimes it can be
yeah,
information overload where now I
yeah.
got another app to deal with, and going back, and then of course social media. Now you're between this, that. So it kind of breaks the mold to write it down. But
Yeah.
and if you saw my office right over there, you'd see post-it notes all over the place, the whiteboard, and that program any.do. But yeah, whatever works. It really depends on what works
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just the main thing is that, all of things really help you in achieving your goals. If you can just get yourself in an organized manner to where it's meaningful for you and helps keep you on track. And I'm really proud of you, Steve, because I know you're going to you're going to start thinking about improving your time management. And I appreciate that you keep it in the noggin up there, but you know, maybe that's something to write on a whiteboard. I don't know, wherever you keep your appointments, maybe use your app again or something, but you'll find a way. And it's all about balance. Yeah. It's the balance between, you know, like you said, being a Virgo and being so hyper organized, that you don't want that to kind of consume your world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's why I let some of it go. And I would
Yeah.
even worry about the dumbest things. I mean, I'm talking back in the day, like when the kids would walk by a wall and like hit the wall with their shoe, I'd be like, stop," because I knew I had to repaint it and I got to find the time to repaint it. Now, like, do whatever you want. Well, you know, dog had an accident. Oh well, no problem with it. It's just it's life. So yeah, so it's really about restructuring, balance, scheduling, kind of feeling that all out so it all feels right, so that you
Yeah.
can get quality sleep, spend some time, with family and friends, and feel like you accomplished something at work and don't have those things floating out there.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's really important to mention that you do have goals and that you allow yourself to, stretch yourself beyond just accepting how your life is and, oh, well, this is the way it is. And it becomes mundane and you're really not living until you actually put some pressure on yourself to stretch a little bit more and try to improve what you can. It's just a great feeling of accomplishment and never stay comfortable. Just don't ever stay comfortable.
That was going to be sort of my next question. Should you always have goals or a goal?
Yeah, I really believe you should
Right.
because like I said, if you stay comfortable, you don't grow. And if you don't grow, you don't feel any kind of achievement. Nothing is really that fulfilling in your life because you have nothing to look forward to. And this feeling of accomplishment and just that's what we're all about as human beings. We're not meant to just stay solidified in, just stay comfortable in a place. That's not living. It's not, it's just surviving.
Yeah.
And so always push yourself, always.
It's funny you said that because I often say that I always need something to look forward to. Otherwise, I'm like, meh. Like
Yeah.
knowing that whether it's something coming up tonight, this weekend, 3 weeks from now, month, 2, 5, a vacation, something to look forward to. And even a vacation can be a goal.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, we don't take the time to do that and plan it out the way you really want it to. So that can be a goal. Yesterday I got my car washed, took it to a car wash, but it's been on my mind for like 4 days. Yeah, I got to get this vacuumed out, let somebody else do it. I felt like I finally accomplished something. Cross that off the list.
Yeah, yeah, which gives you such an amazing feeling. It's even the smallest things,
Yeah.
just continually be active and just don't stay in one spot because, I have to we have a couple minutes here, but I have to share this with you. So
Sure.
this is a perfect example. My mom, who was in her 60s, when she was 60, sat around, didn't do anything, didn't stretch herself to be anything more than what she had become. And she just waited to die. She just sat there waiting to die. And she didn't die till she was 79. But all those years, she just sat waiting to die. And it was the most pathetic thing I ever saw in my life. And her human spirit was gone. She was depressed. And so I think that you set a goal, you put your mind out there to achieve your goal so that you feel that you're living. And that's why it's so important.
Well said. Yeah. Goal that, really that's what it comes down to is feeling like you're living. And by having goals, you feel that way.
Yeah,
Huh?
absolutely. That's what we're all about, growing and surviving and just, you know, being the best we can be.
I've probably have said this before, but it's kind of my mantra. And somebody in my journey, this particular one, which is a year and a half in the making, said it to me a long time ago that habit doesn't equal happiness. Habit doesn't equal happiness. So if you're just going through life, that's okay. Are you really living like the
Mhm.
most you can? Are there, challenges, surprises, just walking into a room of people you don't know and just like, I'm going to go with this. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's going to be other people there that are probably dealing with the same thing as well. But if you're just complacent and just not moving forward, all right, you're
yeah.
existing. Maybe it's not the worst thing, but you're here. Imagine that you could be here and even more happier and just more fulfilled just by moving life along a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so important, just that continual growth and you only have one life to live. So if you're lying on your deathbed and you're going to reflect back on your life, are you going to be proud of how you lived your life?
Mm,
Or are you going to say I wasted it? So why not make the most of what you have, the most of your life, your opportunities, see what you can accomplish,
yeah.
because when you're dead you can't do anything, right? But at least if you're lying there and you can think, wow, I'm glad I took the chance. I'm glad I changed, or I'm glad I did this or that. That's what's really the most important.
So, real quick, you shared your mom's story. I'll share my dad's story. So, my parents got divorced when I was very young. I knew my dad. I didn't know him that well, but we got together from time to time. He was always very active, played tennis. He was a boater. He, worked, but he lived life. And his boat was his thing. He would actually adjust his schedule at work to work overnight so he could be on his boat during his day, hanging out with people, having fun. Um, when I was 21, he died suddenly out of nowhere. So here's the guy that would get on my case when I was a kid, like, why are you putting salt on that? Or, don't do that. Eat better, da da da. Um, just like that, dropped like a rock on his boat. And he was maybe 500 feet from the Coast Guard station so fast that he dropped. They couldn't even get him on a stretcher and to a hospital. So,
Mhm.
to your point, if you never know when you're going to go. And side note, after he passed, I realized I was just like him, but I never knew that because I didn't get to really know him or, I was a kid. I didn't really focus on that. I was living my life then. But yeah, it's short. It's such a cliche, but make the most of it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, absolutely. Just so precious.
Yeah. Goals, no matter what they
Yeah.
are. Sheri, always great talking with you. Tell everybody your website, how it works for somebody to work with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can contact me at paramountmindset.com, and that has all the ways of getting in touch with me. But working with me is, like you heard today, I do hold you accountable to make sure that you're taking the right actions to achieve any kind of goals you want. Or if you have to go deeper, I do hypnotherapy as well, so we can clean out all the gunky stuff and put good stuff in. And there's just a whole array of different things that I do to work with people. So I'm always available. I would love, anytime you have an opportunity, you can get on my Calendly link and chat with me for 30 minutes. We could share a cup of coffee and just talk. I love to hear about your story and see if maybe working with me is a good fit. And if not, I know so many people that might be able to help you. So just consider me a friend in the field, and I'm happy to point you in the right direction, and it doesn't cost anything to talk to me. And so, take a chance. Don't stay just stuck, see what's possible out there.
That's what makes you different. You are passionate, but you're also not pushy, and pushy when you need to be. In terms of holding somebody accountable, but yeah, it feels like you're working with a friend. And and thank you for mentioning hypnotherapy, because we haven't hit that, I think, enough. Maybe next time we'll hit upon that, because that's powerful stuff that you integrate that into coaching at the same time. You got the tools. They're in front of you. Sheri Atcheson is there to help you out. ParamountMindset.com. ParamountMindset.com.
Perfect.
I'm going to go schedule some stuff. It's good talking to you. Hey, I got to get it done. All right, Sheri, we'll talk soon. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.